team lead at DB Services, and today I'll be showing you how to authenticate a FileMaker app using Salesforce as the identity provider. Let's get started. What we have here is we have Salesforce's landing homepage, and what I've done is I've looked for the word identity, which will allow us to pull up the identity provider screen. If you haven't enabled your identity provider service before, you can go ahead and do that now. For the purpose of this demo, we'll just be using the self-signed certificate, and I'm going to go ahead and hit save. One thing you're going to want to take note of is this issuer. You're going to be using that later on when configuring the FileMaker server. Down at the bottom here, we're looking for service providers, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use that link to set up a new service provider. Our connected app name is just going to be FM Server Test OAuth, which it will fill in for the API name. Go ahead and fill in an email address for it. And if you want, you can fill in the rest of the information. I usually like to pick a logo, which you can just use one of Salesforce's sample cloud logos. So we can take the logo image and the icon image if we want to fill in. And down below, we're going to make sure we want to enable OAuth integration. And the domain callback URL you want to put here is going to be the same for all the FileMaker redirects. It's going to be whatever your public domain is. In this case, I'm just going to put your domain, but you would put your URL in here, /OAuth/redirect. Down below, it's important to pick the correct security scope providers. In this case, for Salesforce, we want the access the identity URL service and access unique identifiers. So let me just go ahead and pick those two. And down at the bottom, we can go ahead and hit save. It's going to let us know it's going to take up to 10 minutes to be enabled. And on the confirmation page, you're going to want to make sure to copy and document both your consumer key and your consumer secret. Those will be used when setting up and configuring the FileMaker server, which we will do now. Once you get into this page and you have your identity provider, we can go ahead and hit the change button here. I've kind of filled ours in already, but I gave it a name, Salesforce ID, our dev test environment, our client secret, and our client ID. The endpoints I mentioned before, you're going to use your issuer that Salesforce gave you, which is your Salesforce URL. And then on the back side of this, for each endpoint, we need the authorization code endpoint, which is OAuth 2 authorized from Salesforce, the token, which is token, and the profile endpoint for Salesforce, which is user info. In this box, I went ahead and just linked it to one of our logos on our website. The custom IDP user account schema will be the field that you want to use for authentication. In our case, we're going to be using our email. And down below, the scopes, I've found these to be pretty standard across the OpenID and OAuth platforms, but you want OpenID, profile, and email, at which time you can go ahead and do your OAuth 2 and save your settings. Now, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to log out of our profile so we can test this. And within here, FileMaker gives us a way to verify our identity provider, which I'm going to do. Go ahead and log back into Salesforce. And FileMaker should give me a success saying that it was verified. The last step is to configure your FileMaker file itself, which I will pull up our test file. You can already see it has Salesforce as an option here to log in. I just need to go ahead and give my test file an account with Salesforce. So in the Manage Security, I'm going to go to Custom OAuth. I'm going to add new. I'm going to paste in my user account I'm using for testing. I'm going to give it an access privilege, and I'm going to save it. I'll go ahead and close the file, reopen it, and this time use Salesforce as my login credentials, which you can see here. I am now logged in with the account name of my email that I'm using for testing Salesforce. And that's really all there is to it. You can use different identity providers. FileMaker's always given us the ability to use Amazon, Google, or Microsoft by default, but now we have the ability to configure it with anyone we would like. Please reach out to us if you would like any assistance authenticating with Salesforce or any other identity providers, and we'd be more than happy to help.